GM. Hey, Red.
Hey,
How's
can you
your
hear me?
Yeah, I can, yeah.
Oh, awesome. Morning.
Good morning. Where are you today? Are you in
Uh,
Melbourne?
I am in Melbourne. I am collecting uniform for AO23. So I'm over at the Pullman.
Oh,
About to finish up this call and then jump in line and pick up some of my goodies.
oh, nice. So what, you each get a uniform every year? You get a stack of merch?
Yeah, so obviously Ralph Lauren are our merch partner as far as the event goes, and each year you get a kit. So let me run through what we get: shoes, socks, shorts, chinos, polos, shirts, and a jacket. It's pretty nice gear. Like the polo Ralph Lauren stuff's really nice. So they're a great sponsor to have on board.
Oh, love it. So good. What's been happening? So I hear there's been a bit of action with updates at the actual site.
Yeah, I'll grab some photos today. It's who's usually giving us the weather updates from Melbourne. I can't remember off the top
It's
of my head.
usually running south,
Oh, running
but I'm
south. That's
sure
right.
I'm sure we'll get one in AO Metaverse chat at some point today. And if
It's
you are
yeah.
listening on catch up, feel free to come and tell us what's going down. But what's the weather from your angle?
Oh, it's pretty miserable here at the moment. I must say, it feels like it's about 15 degrees out there, blowing a gale and trying to rain. Not what we want. A week, 2 weeks out from the event, but it is what it is. Hopefully, it gets it out of its system before we get into the middle of January. It's not ideal for this time of year, but there's, like you said, there's a lot going on at the site at the moment. A ton of construction going on. Just as a little sort of peek behind the curtains for a lot of people, most of Melbourne Park is temporary infrastructure for the Australian Open, and we really have a level of expectation of what that temporary infrastructure should be like, and the expectation is that you shouldn't have a marquee. If you're using a marquee, that marquee has to be facaded to look like a building. The inside of it has to be facaded to look like you're inside a building as well. Basically, no one should feel like they're in any sort of plastic marquee, like they're at a typical sporting event or a typical event. We sort of leave that for our competition to manage their events with plastic marquees, and we sort of level up. But we're also lucky that, you know what, we go for 2 weeks. A lot of those other events only go for 1, 2, 3, 4 days. So the volume of infrastructure that they have to put in, and the cost that it would that they would have to absorb to get it to a level that we do, wouldn't make it worthwhile. But given we run for 2 weeks, yeah, I'll take some photos from up in the office today, so everyone's got a bit of an idea of what they're walking into in a couple of weeks when they come down on their 7-day ground passes.
Love it, thanks, Red. And obviously, the United Cup is in full swing. Um, could you give us an update on where we're at in that competition and a few of the results so far? It's been so lovely to see so many of our members jump on and share their photos and who they've been taking and who they've got into tennis. So yeah, it's been lovely. Really, where are
Yeah,
we at in the United Cup?
it's been awesome. I think obviously the United Cup is the first time an event has been run like this globally. So the first time men and women have competed together for the same amount of prize money and the same amount of points. Um, the the results and the standard and quality of tennis has been amazing. Unfortunately, there's been a couple of players that have had to pull out with injury, which is inevitable at this time of year. They're sort of coming back from a bit of rest over summer or winter, wherever they live globally, and then as soon as they get back on the hard courts, often injuries happen. We have seen quite a few knees, which they're just sort of soft tissue stuff, particularly for the Aussie crew that have pulled out, and obviously they want to get themselves better for the AO. But we have just announced the city finalists, so they'll kick off today. So that's Great Britain versus the US in Sydney, Italy versus Poland in Brisbane, and Greece versus Croatia in Perth. So yeah, it's been an awesome competition to watch. I think it's great to see tennis back in some of those cities that have missed out on tennis over the last couple of years with the different closures of borders and challenges of people travelling and whatnot as well.
Epic, thanks for that summary. I've seen a few more heads pop in. A few of the regulars here. Nice to see 91 Jayhawk and Eric Alexander and Joan or Joanne. Still haven't been corrected on how to pronounce your name. So until I get a correction, perhaps in the chat, please tell me if you're Joanne the girl or Joanne the boy. So what we'll do is jump in. If I could just get a recording check from Benny, is it all recording okay before we get into the main proceedings? Get a thumbs up. Okay, sweet, awesome. Okay, so today's Discord Live is chatting through how AO22 and AO23 ArtBalls are united and the value propositions of each and why it's so great to own both. We're getting quite a few questions in our Discord from people that are either coming in from other communities or are new to projects. But also it's worth stating for our Genesis holders what the value of owning an AO23 is as well. As we go into Mint, Mint is on Monday, so we want to make sure all of your questions are answered. So please use the chat as we chat through this presentation. So what we're going to do is share an update that's going into the light paper now. It's a bit small, but I will do my best to zoom in so you can see what we're talking about. But essentially, we've got a benefits table going into the document here. So it will basically show what the benefits of AO22 is and what the benefits of AO23 is as well. So Ridley, do you want to start off with the first one, or I can, and then we can tic tac on it? For a start, can you guys see the table? Yeah.
Yeah, and for anyone that can't see it, you may need to just click on the, I think it's view stream or your top left-hand corner if you can't see it, if you're on a PC or Mac. I can see it, and yeah, it looks great. I think the big shout out to the team who's also put together this beautiful light paper over the last couple of months with a focus on making sure that we're communicating everything that we're doing, all the benefits, as Sarah just said. Sarah, I was going to sort of throw to you to sort of have a chat through, but also just wanted to I guess flag with everyone first and foremost that there has been an exorbitant amount of thought that has gone into why we're doing the various things that we're doing in the project. That is all with a lens of taking on member feedback and member suggestions as well, but always looking at it with a lens of how do we continue to keep this project going and keep benefiting members as long as possible. And we've spoken with people internally at Tennis Australia, people externally, advisors, others in Web3, others who run communities, projects, etc. And the overwhelming feedback that we continue to get is that the AO ArtBall project is thinking years ahead of where everyone else is right now. And I think we want to be confident in saying that the AO ArtBall will continue to give utility going forward. We're building a commercial model and a wealth of utility for members of the community that will continue for years to come. And the way that we do that is by creating a commercial model that makes sense for a member, an investor, a future investor or member of the project, and the businesses that are actually running the project as well. So, yeah, I'll throw back to Sarah, but just sort of wanted to kick off with that as well.
Yeah, thanks, Fred. So what this table does is go down by different element that's built into the NFT itself, both IRL and digital, on chain. as well. So we'll give you a rundown of what you get with the AO22 and what you get with the AO23. How we see it is there's a magical Venn diagram of two balls coming together, which isn't exactly the most aesthetic view right now. But there's a lot of benefit in the middle there as well, as each ball itself. For anyone that's joining, please make sure you go on mute. Lovely that you're multitasking, but also it does take us off our game when we're speaking. So AO22 balls. So what you got in the collection was a mix of generative, legend, and artist artwork on the ball. And what you'll get in AO23 is a stack of new balls that are in the collaborator collection. So that's about 115, and we're tracking for at the moment that'll go into the collaborator series, which will come with additional benefits from each collaborator. So if you think of our stack of collaborators right now, you would have just seen that we've just announced 3 stellar Web3 projects as well, and they are Creature World, Uncyber, and Tennis Champs, adding to NF Teams, VSP, Vayner Sports Pass, and so on. So if you think of benefits, we can't announce them until after reveal, but each one of those 115 balls will come with benefits from those collaborators themselves. So that's what you're getting in AO23 in terms of collection difference. You'll also get, which will ladder across both, an all new data experience. So last year, for anyone that was involved in the match point view last year, you could see a 2D version where your ball landed on the court, and we'll go through that in a bit on the re-roll. But essentially, you got to see, you got to connect your wallet. It was a gated experience, and see the next day after all the matches have been played if your ball had a match point from one of the games. So if one of the matches last legal bounce landed on your plot, you would see your plot updated in a 2D experience. In AO23, you'll get a 3D experience. So instead of being able to see sort of, I guess, the bird's eye view from the top down of where your ball landed on the court, you'll actually get a 360-degree view of the ball trajectory. So imagine the arc of the ball. You'll get a 360-degree wrap and be able to spin around to see the last play. You'll also get to see a side-by-side view of the match play against it. So you're getting match play and content of the actual match that was played where the 3D ball was won. There's lots more to be baked in, and we're going to share a preview of that hopefully by the end of next week, so you can see what that experience looks like. But essentially, we have focused our benefits for AO23 on building value in the ball itself. So I think we said this a couple of weeks ago at the artwork roundup, but essentially, instead of focusing on indistinguishable changes to the wrap of the ball and what colour of the ball is, we've definitely focused on what the benefit of the actual ball is self. And we're baking that in as well. There's likely to be 3D VR as well built into the ball, and we're just working through that at the moment. So essentially, the difference between AO22 and AO23 in terms of artwork is a new collection, as well as lots of tech features built into the experience itself from a match point perspective. So the other, go for it.
I was going to say, I might just jump in there as well and sort of give a little bit more context to, I guess, how and why we're building these elements in as well, because what we have the opportunity to do as we're continuing to build out this project and grow our expertise in how we use the technology that's available to us and how we use the information and data that's available to us, gives us a great opportunity to, I guess, take in a whole lot of information and data that is available to us from tennis. And that there is a ton of stuff out there, and we're only literally, for the first part of this project, we used one little string of data, but we listened to the members and the holders who said, we want more about the points, we want more about the winning points, we want, can we own the footage? And I guess the simple answer is no, you can't own the footage, unfortunately, but what we can do is take some of the information and data that we do get from the ball tracking and actually, I guess, reinvigorate that into a new visual experience for holders to go and, I guess, study in a way. And this allows us to then, I guess, create new items and think about new ideas. And we should also say that we do have a couple of other ideas that can use this technology to, I think, explore different realms of artwork and what might be possible for us to create new pieces of new collections or new collectibles in the future as well.
Thank you. Thank you. So the next row, so the second row down, you'll see in the light paper update is being pushed very soon, is that every court, where every ball, whether you're on the court on 22 and 23, will be on the court for the future AO series. So if you're an AO22 holder, you'll be on the court, which means you'll get a plot position, which means you'll get a chance to win match points in AO23, in AO24 and onwards. The same with if you mint an AO23 ball, you'll be on the court in 23, ability to win match points, and you'll be on the court in 24, 25 in perpetuity. This is a ball that has it all and is in perpetuity. There is also the potential opportunity to build in other tournaments into the ArtBall itself. So at the moment, you've got the possibility of winning 400 plus match points of the AO, but we're looking at other tournaments as well, both within tennis and outside of tennis. So it's not just just for the AO tournaments as well. So just letting you know, I think a bit of this has been lost because it's a new concept in terms of being on the court every year and unique to us. But we'll go through the re-roll and what that actually means going forward as well. We get a lot of requests on POAPs and wearables. So last year, the AO22 ArtBall got 50. We released 52,000 POAPs and a staggering number of wearables at 90,000 through AO Metaverse and Decentraland. If you would have been on our Twitter this week, you'd have seen that AO Decentraland is back again. The RSVP page will be coming up in the next week or so for you guys to sign up for that, which will mean a stack more POAPs and wearables. We're just working through the exact numbers and type and designs at the moment. There'll also be, treasure hunts and so on. They'll get a revamp this year. We're hoping to update a few sections of the experience as well. So for those that didn't come into AO Metaverse last year, it's 14 days in Decentraland. It was epic. There were so many people wandering around, getting involved in both the treasure hunts and events that we had on there. We also had about 300 cameras streaming in there with the best parts of the press conferences as well as historic matches. So it's a really good time to jump back into Decentraland and get amongst it and get yourself in there. I think the other thing we're doing as well is thinking about other promotions we can do around that. So there's more to come. Our collaborators will be in there in force. You might see a few collaborator wearables come in to play as well, which will be a bit different this year. But we'll keep you posted on that over the next coming weeks. We're just running really fast at that. I guess the biggest IR benefit, and you'll see this to the left-hand side, we've got the benefit type here, is relating to the AO23 tickets. So for every 22 holder, they got, which claims finished yesterday, got a pair of two 7-day ground passes to the finals week of AO23. It was the biggest release of tickets that we believe any other project has released. So oftentimes you see projects releasing a few tickets here or there. We made an allocation for our entire holder base of finals week tickets. And so that was a huge benefit for AO22. For those that didn't see our announcement at the very end of last year, the huge benefit that we've got in play for AO23 holders is that every match point, so that's 400, that is scored, will get an equivalent pair of tickets to that equivalent game. So if you score a match point for a men's or women's finals, you will get a pair of two men's or women's finals tickets in the Rod Laver Arena. So one of the challenges we got on the release of ground passes this year was we'd love to see stadium seats. We'd love to be in Margaret Court, Rod Laver, John Cain. So we've got the opportunity here for any match point holders that score a match point to get the equivalent tickets, which is insane. So, you know, one of the other challenges of we'd love to have week one ground passes, and this benefit allows us to do that. I guess the other question we get a fair bit is if you're minting AO23, am I definitely going to get ground passes to AO24? We're looking into that. The success of ground pass claims, which is just sorting out at the moment in terms of final numbers, will dictate our ability to negotiate the same volume of tickets for next year. We have had the feedback you want to watch more tennis and want to watch week one. So we are looking into that. But now's the time to give us feedback on that. So essentially, the difference in tickets is that we provided, I think the numbers sat around 2,000 ground pass tickets for every ArtBall holder, but we had, you know, an allocation of the maximum as well. And next year for the AO23, you get the opportunity to get some stadiums tickets, which is huge. Again, another huge benefit that's been provided by Ridley. So if you've got anything to add there, Rid.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. Sorry, I was just coming off mute there. Yeah, no, I think, look, it's been an amazing uptake on the tickets. There's been a whole lot of conversations that are happening and have happened internally just on what that means for this year and what it means going forward. And I think you've summarised beautifully sort of what the various benefits are that we're continuing to add there, and the conversations that are being had around, is it a 7-day for week 2? Is it 1 or 2 days in week 1? Obviously then the equivalent match points as well. We're trying to build in as many unique offerings to benefit the majority of people, or everyone, if we like, which again was part of the feedback that we received, was that the majority of feedback that we got and suggestions that we got through surveying, focus groups, etc., was more for all, not just less for some, if you like.
Yeah. Got it. Cool. And then, so I'm just going to rattle through these because there's 2 pages of benefits. So I think on the face of it, you know, often people just see the NFT, but it's a stack of utility that comes both. So I'm going to rattle through this next lot. So the other aspect of IRL that you get from the AO22 ball was the championship points, which are 11. So the players that actually win the championship, those points that are allocated and attributed from those games, there are 11 of them. We gave away a beautiful trophy, which had a ball from the tournament in it last year, made available to 11 of the championship point winners. This year, we're looking at custom art balls, of which Adam's got one made already. So we're looking into that. So instead of just a generic tennis ball, we're looking to create custom art balls for that championship point. So we'll have an update on that towards the end of the tournament. Obviously, we're running fast at lots of different initiatives. So as we said earlier, in the Decentraland experience, we streamed historic matches through our 300 plus cameras into Decentraland. This year, the huge benefit for an international holder is that you're going to get on-demand streams and highlights and behind the scenes from the 300 cameras, but plugged directly into a portal which we're calling Super Site. So you will feel like you're at the tournament. We'll be having player follows where the community can choose who they want to follow. For me, it'd be Matteo Berrettini for obvious reasons. And you know, if you're a fan of Naomi Osaka or Djokovic, we'll be following them as well. There'll be a 3D stats explorer and lots of other benefits baked into that. So essentially what that will be in descriptive terms is a gating experience. So you'll just basically have to you know, prove that you own an NFT, and you'll be basically able to access, you know, what is the Netflix of the AO, and it'll be historic streams, so you won't be able to see anything live due to our broadcast negotiations and arrangements that are locked in years in advance. However, you will be able to see you know, highlights close to those matches being played. So essentially, that is a huge benefit. That's not to be quaffed out in terms of the benefit that comes with that. It's almost like getting a sports benefit like KO or another kind of streaming platform. Obviously, merch is a huge thing. We know you love rackets, but what we give out in our AF gift pack is pretty epic. So if you receive one of these, there's a stack of AO merch. There's food and beverage goodies. I'm gonna mute someone, or if one of the mods can mute that person that's decided to yawn, that would be helpful. So yeah, we give out these merch packs to community members that have gone over and above. We give them out during raffles. There'll be obviously a refresh to that gift pack to do with the AO23 branding, but you'll see more of those gift packs, and that's something that is a lovely surprise and delight mechanic for our holders. Can the mods find out who's not on mute and mute them, please? That would be super helpful if someone could do that for me. So I'm on to the next page of member benefits. So Web3 education. So a huge announcement we made this week. So last year we sort of did this fairly ad hoc. We lent our platform to others that are leading in the space. We gave away just mute this person. We gave away ad hoc tickets to NFT conferences and crypto conferences. This year we're formalizing that. So it's really important that we're all learning in this space. And through our crypto education collaborator, Collective Shift, we're providing every holder a suite of tools, expert daily insights, and opportunity alerts from research leaders around the globe. So if you have a look at collectiveshift.io, you will see that their starter membership sits around $200 a year US. So that's the value that you're getting through being an AO22 and an AO23 ArtBall holder. So we've got enough memberships to cover both holders. So that's what you're getting this year, a formalized way that on demand you can tune into opportunity alerts with other projects and investor insights, and just a generally amazing platform to learn more about crypto, learn more about NFTs, Web3, and so on. So obviously, as you'd all appreciate, this area is developing quickly. So what you know today won't be what you need to know for tomorrow. So this is really important that we're basically improving the knowledge of you guys as you walk into this space with your eyes wide open. So that includes me. Hey, Adam.
Hey, Sarah.
Hey, how are you?
Yeah, good, tired. With the education partner, the educational partner through Collective Shift, that will be token gated as well for both collections. So we're just testing those final bits there. But I think, so you'll be able to log in with your ArtBall and have those starter benefits, which will be epic. So just to touch on that.
Yeah, thanks. I think that's a really important distinction. So we spend time obviously doing due diligence on the collaborators we work with, but we always lean towards projects that are truly on chain. And then when we actually build an integration, we make sure that's on chain as well, and that's hygiene. For a project like ours, we have our bar set really high on gated experiences. You see that start to crank. There will be more meetups. We are looking at the cities where our holders are based. We obviously did meetups in Australia and New York. This year we are looking to Europe. We have got teammates over there, and we've got ways that we can create ambassadors and programs by which we can have meetups overseas. So you'll start to hear more about that after the tournament in terms of the quarterly meetups we'll do. So there will be meetups, across our key areas and key geographies. So we've got a stack of IRL benefits as well. So for those that don't know, AO22 ArtBall holders got a stack of opportunities across a number of different tournaments, live sport. don't know who that is, but that was so on point. If you've got a soundboard, feels like someone's watching the tennis. Can someone mute that person? I don't know if it's teeth, if it's
I think I
soccer.
found that.
So good. It's like so on point. Crowd cheers. So, what you know, if you're an AO22 holder, that you got the opportunity to win tickets to the United Cup. We sent 164 people to the United Cup this year, which was played across Sydney, Brisbane, and Perth. We also distributed 2 tickets to other Grand Slams, Wimbledon and Roland Garros. The aspect of IRL that we get a bit is, can you help me with my tennis? We created a private coaching clinic for around 20 holders with Stan Smith, the legend, and the great that is Stan Smith. So he's got a private coaching clinic, and we did that in New York this year, or next year. Sorry, we are in 23. We will be looking to have other coaching experiences through our collaboration with Pro Tennis Fam. We are looking at tournaments across the year that you can play in as well. So for AWIS that's listening, who's a tennis coach, for those that are actually playing tennis, we'll have more information for you there. I think the other aspect of our IRL experiences is that we always want to make sure that you're not just getting an average experience around live sport, that you actually walk away with memories. So for the Mets Marlins game in New York and the Arsenal winners, we gave you a stadium tour and signed jerseys as well. For the Mets and Marlins, you got access to a private box and free food and bev as well. So you walk away with, a full rounded experience and not just a couple of tickets. We were also gifted tickets from the MotoGP, which happened on Phillip Island in Victoria as well. So these benefits are likely to roll over for next year. What those benefits are, we're still working through at the moment. Okay, can somebody find that person? Thanks, Adam. So coming to the end there. So yeah, we're not just all about tennis. We've got IRL experiences across a number of different other live sports. We know what your preferences are in terms of the NBA, the Grand Prix, and so on. We are looking at those codes, and we should have an update for you again in Q2 after the tournament. We're now polo focused on the AO23, and when we get out of that into February, we'll start to look at the other live sport we've got tickets for. Okay, so the last 2 are sort of NFT Web3 related. We had a number of allow lists being gifted to us from the Grand Slam tournament. So Wimbledon and Roland Garros, Luna NFT as well on Solana, and Pro Tennis Fan, which is live at the moment. It's on our link tree. We've got 400 whitelists to the Pro Tennis Fan project. If you're interested in being a benefactor of the future of emerging talent in tennis, check that one out. We are likely to have other exclusive allow lists throughout the year. We're speaking to a number of different projects minting at the moment. So we'll have an update for you again, probably from February. If we don't have one in the middle of the tournament, it's likely to come through in February. And then from a collaborator standpoint, this is a big one, and it's probably left at the last for reasons that we're in negotiation at the moment. We have negotiated a number of global collaborator benefits that come with those collaborator ArtBalls and extend through all AO ArtBall members as well. We will be announcing that from the 16th of January onwards, from when the reveal happens onwards. So you'll start to hear about what those global collaborator benefits. So we've got about 15 collaborators that are working with us. That is, if you think about the permutations of that, there's a stack of benefits that will come with that from other blue chip brands, as well as Web3 brands. So the opportunities for those benefits to go across the AO ArtBall is huge. Ridley, I've at the end of the table. I feel like I've been chatting for a long time, but if you've got anything to add, I mean, it's a very deep benefits table for those that just think they're getting an art ball itself. So yeah, we'd love to hear if you've got any questions on what I've just chatted through. But Ridley, if you've got any comments.
I think that's an awesome summary, and like you said, it's a huge list of benefits, all of which take a lot of time and a lot of resource to bring together. And like you said, there's 15 collaborators there, and building a collaboration with whether it be a Web 2 brand or a Web 3 project does not just take 5 minutes. And the fact that over the last probably 10 weeks or so, we've built out the 15 collaborations with a multitude of different projects that all have a multitude of different benefits across different categories and different sports and different, I guess, innovations as well, and different brands. That does take time and it takes resource, and all the while the Run It Wild team has sort of been putting in the work behind the scenes to build out the other websites, the claim sites, the tickets, and all the other functionality that you see as part of sort of the member benefits for AO22 and AO23, all the while kind of keeping that lens, as we said earlier, over the project as far as a commercial standpoint goes and how we continue to benefit people into the future as far as possible. So yeah, we definitely want this AO ArtBall to be something that members are proud to hold. We want them to keep it forever. We want you guys to continue to benefit from this into the future. And as we said a few weeks ago, we want this to be an item that you keep in your digital wallet, and you're proud to have an AO ArtBall in there, because I know when I look at my wallet, and I think some of us probably look at ours as well and go, wow, there's actually a whole lot of junk in there that I get absolutely no benefit from whatsoever. And we're in a position now where we want people to be able to say, this AO ArtBall gives me this, and it gives me access to that, and I'm part of this community, and I get tickets to this event, and I'm proud to have it. And it's the sort of thing that we want people to pass down to their kids, or we want them to go and buy their partner one so they can involve their partner more in the space, or educate your friends and family and bring them along to the project as well so they can get the benefit from it. So no, I think you've summarized beautifully, Sarah, and there's a ton of information there. As you said, the light paper update's coming out in the next probably couple of hours. That'll be updated, and yeah, everyone can go and have a look through and see all the detail line by line.
Thank you, Rid, that's super helpful. So yeah, there'll be a couple of pages, it'll be 10 and 11 in the light paper for you guys to check out this benefits table. So if you want to buy it from the floor, an extra AO22 ArtBall, and if you want to mint and get yourself on a wildcard raffle, we suggest doing that before the Monday mint. If you've got any other questions on this benefits table, let us know. I'm just going to give you a bit of an update on the re-roll after I've just read these comments. So from AWIZ, I appreciate the idea of having claims for ground passes in 24. Now that 70% of holders know this, it's a benefit and can possibly plan to travel. Yeah, thanks, AWIZ. That's good feedback. For international holders, you'll also get access to Supersite as well, and the range of IRL tickets that we'll have globally as well. So hang in there if you're international holders. Definitely international perks. Most of the collaborator benefits will be international as well, given our projects are largely international. So you have benefit across the collaborators as well, which we'll be announcing from the 16th. You just don't know that right now. I think this is from Crypto Ben Bones. I think the AO ArtBall holders should own the NFT collectibles of winning point. Depending on round, depends on rarities. Can we have a list of collaborators and their main link? Yeah, well, the collaborators are listed in the collab news there. I'm not sure what you mean about the NFT collectibles of the winning point. You do get an update in properties.
I can talk to that a little bit as well, Sarah. If so Crypto Ben Bones, if the question is about owning the NFT collectibles of the winning point. So let's say NBA Top Shot, for example, where you would effectively own LeBron dunk. If that was the winning point, you might own a Rafa forehand that won the match or the men's final last year. We can't actually commercialize that piece of footage that the player or the winning point, if you like. So the whole reason that the ArtBall exists in its current form and that we don't have a platform like an NBA Top Shot is purely because we aren't able to commercialize the player's IP. So, for example, if Rafa was to make that winning forehand that wins the men's final in AO22, we unfortunately can't give you access to that piece of footage in the form of an NFT. We'd be in breach of IP and commercial rights of that player. And there are a lot of players in the tennis fraternity now that have individual deals with other platforms. So Rafa is with Autograph, for example, which would preclude us from using any of his IP and commercializing that in the form of an NFT. So it is a challenge as far as tennis goes. We don't have a player association like a lot of other sports do, where the association represents all the players and their IP rights and how they get distributed or commercialized. So, for example, with Top Shot, NFL, UFC, a number of soccer leagues, and some of the other sporting leagues around the world that you are seeing collectibles that are relatively generic moments. Unfortunately, we can't do that. So hopefully that sums up the question. And then to Sarah's point, the list of collaborators is available in the light paper down on page 16, I think it is. And you'll be able to get access to that, but also all the updates that have been made in announcements. And then if you jump on our Twitter, we're updating all of those collaborators sort of one at a time, have been over the last 2 weeks, and will continue over the next few days as well.
Cool, that's where you'll see all the collab news being announced. So when we start to release the benefits of those collaborator balls, we'll be doing it through a light paper update and through collab news. It's hang in there. I guess the other thing we wanted to talk about was what is a plot reroll. For those people that are just new into our project and don't understand that. You see on the right here on the screen the match point experience from last year, which is not what you see this year. Technically, it'll be more 3D than this. But you'll see that 2662 ball one is placed just under the net. So it's in prime position for a drop shot win, which was this women's singles win. And then in properties on the ArtBall, so if you head over to OpenSea and have a look at 2662, you'll see that that has a plot number of 5380, which relates to a plot X coordinate, which is 56, and a plot Y coordinate, which is 45. So imagine going across the court 56 and down 45, you will get to that 2662 ArtBall there. That's where they are on the court. That's when they won the women's singles match there, and when their point got updated with this sticker here. So the re-roll is that every AO22 ArtBall holder will get a completely new plot number. So instead of 5380, this ArtBall will get a completely randomized new plot number based on the 9,230 that are on the court for this year. So they might get plot number 23, and that might be backline, a black line position, right? And so the re-roll means you will get a completely new plot number. Now, how does that re-roll happen? We're using chain length VRF, which is an on-chain random number allocator, which means that distribution is verifiably random on chain. There's no human footprint in that, human handprint, fingerprint in that. And then how will that be updated to your ArtBall? So if you own an AO22 ArtBall, when we say you get a reroll, and you get a reroll in perpetuity, so you'll get on the AO24 court, the 25 court, etc., you will get a new plot number, which you will see on chain, and it will be in properties. And then every year, or every tournament that we have your ArtBall in, you'll be able to see what that plot number is. And that will be updated via an NFT metadata update. So after reveal on the 15th of January, the day prior to the tournament starting, you will be able to see your new plot number. It'll be pushed via an NFT metadata update through OpenSea. So that's where you'll be able to see that. The other aspect that we mentioned earlier is the new menu system. So when you actually go to your ArtBall, it'll look something like this. We're obviously working on this at the moment. But when you see your ArtBall, you'll be able to toggle through the years. So you can see that this plot number, hopefully you can see this because I'm just, yeah, cool. Hope you can see this menu. You'll be able to see your new plot numbers in 23. So you'll be able to see your X coordinates now 12 and your Y is 61, and you've now got plot position 132. Last year you had 5041. So you'll be able to see your match points year on year that you've won through the match point system. And equally, if we're in any other tournaments, you'll be able to see those as well. So that's what a reroll is. It means you're on the plot, you're on the court every year, you're in other tournaments every year, depending on what we negotiate in. And you'll be able to see that through a menu system that will be pushed via the NFT metadata update. So this is another update that's going into the light paper, just to clarify what a reroll is and to lay that out for you. So that's all I wanted to chat through today. Ridley, I don't know if you wanted to allude to any other ties between 22 and 23, but you know, there has been conversations about a multiplier effect of owning 22 and 23. So yeah, if you want to jump into suggestions, we're willing to hear those out as we start ideating for past the tournament. But yeah, this is just a set 1 and a set 2 of benefits that we've got. This isn't ending right now. This isn't you know, it's just a snapshot in a point of time. But yeah, Ridley, I don't know if you wanted to chat through any of that.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if you were going to go there or not, Sarah. I think that's a really interesting conversation that we're having at the moment. Is that if you've just closed off the stream. If someone does own a 22 and a 23 ball, what is the benefit that is associated with that? And I think when we talk about potentially having sort of a gold, silver, bronze member, or does someone own multiple art balls? Does someone own a winning art ball? Does someone own an artist, a legendary, a collaborator ball? I think once we build out the next category of that exclusivity will be who owns a 22 and a 23 ball. And I think we probably don't need to go into too much detail on that now because it's certainly not resolved, but that will be the plan down the track, is that people can essentially build out their tube of balls, if you like, and you'll hold a 22 and a 23 and a 24 and a 25, and you'll continue to become part of a more exclusive club as per the balls that you hold in your collection.
Pick there. So just to recap, there'll be a light paper update that's being pushed in the next couple of hours, so you can rifle through the benefits of owning an AO22 and an AO23 ArtBall. We've also gone through what a reroll is as well. Those that are completely new to our project and weren't involved in the AO22 tournament last year, where we're at, we're a few days out from mint in terms of next steps. We're going to have a Discord live around this time on Friday. It's really important, if you're intending to mint, that you turn up to that or tune in for the recording. We will share with you our final mint price. We'll share with you the mint process. We'll preview some screens of what our mint process will look like, not dissimilar from last year. There'll be a few updates on that. For now, get yourself in a wildcard raffle, aka allow list raffle. They're on our link tree. They're in official links. There are some allow lists which anyone can enter. There are some allow lists which are members only. If you're not in a members only, allow list, make sure you're in on that. So anyone from 22 can get in on our wildcard raffle for a wildcard. The other aspect of automatic wildcards is that anyone that owns an artist legend or 10 or over ArtBalls will get an automatic wildcard. We'll be drawing those wildcards tomorrow afternoon. So you've got around about 24 hours to get in your last wildcard entries. There's only a limited 2, 4, 5, 4 mint on the AO23, so it's going to be a third of what we minted at the very beginning. So it's going to be very difficult to get in than previous mint. So make sure that you get yourself on there. So yeah, and then that's Friday, and we'll chat you through the next few days from there on in. But essentially, we're minting on Sunday night if you're in Europe or the US, and we're minting on Monday morning before work if you're from APAC. So make sure that that's like in your diaries, wherever you need to put your reminders on. We will be releasing the time and more specifics around that on Friday, so tune in for that, or the update will be on announcements closely thereafter. So if you have any questions, feel free. We'll hang on for a minute or so. Please feel free to drop us any feedback into this chat or into AO ArtBall a bit later on. As you review, the documents that you see, and if for anyone that's listening on catch up, feel free to hit us up on any follow-up questions as well. Like I say, we'll hang on for another minute or so. If anyone's got any feedback, feel free to jump into the chat box and let us know. If there's any other questions, burning questions you need answered before minting on Monday, please get them answered. Please feel free and empowered to ask your question anywhere. If it's a personal question to do with your ArtBall, feel free to drop that into tickets. We can do any checks on those as well. Adam, did you have anything to add at all? Anything that I've missed off?
No. You did amazing. So we've gone through it all. Hopefully it's all recorded with Ben so that other people can review it. But I think adding into the suggestions is great. Obviously our target is mint day, and then following that the start of the tournament and getting through. From there on, we will have lots of other things to show, in the lead up, including the 3D match point side and a few things like that too, which will be exciting. So, we'll keep you updated.
Yeah, pretty excited about seeing all that stuff as well. But yeah, as Adam said, head over to suggestions. This is your project. Co-create it with us. This is a snapshot of the benefits. We're hyper-focused on the initiatives that are leading up to Mint and the tournament itself. So we are looking at suggestions. We might not be able to give you an answer straight away. If we can build those suggestions and ideas in for beyond the tournament, it's definitely a lockdown that we can't. We're very restricted in what we can do with the time and resources we have at hand for AO23. However, from February onwards, we'll be going through all the suggestions and prioritizing what you guys have suggested for us to look into. So yeah, we might not be responding straight away, but we'll be getting into it straight after. So yeah, have an amazing few days. The Discord announcements channel will be full, and there'll be announcements every single day. If you get lost, announcements is your best bet. Like I say, join us if you're an audible or visual listener. Join us on Friday. We'll be having a mint party on Monday morning, so we'll be in this channel again for any mint issues, and anyone that's just excited that they've minted an ArtBall. So yeah, we're super excited to mint and to have all of your avatars in this project going forward as well. So yeah, super excited to see you all. But yeah, have a good afternoon, morning, evening, wherever you are in the world. Tune into the United Cup. It's shaping up to be a ripper. And yeah, we'll see you on Friday, hopefully. Take care.
Bye.